It looked like the Indiana Fever has found Natasha Howard replacement. This is breaking news coming out right now. It's all over the internet. Let's head right on over to Twitter. Pull it up right now, man, because we got a lot of talking to do, and it looked like fans is not happy with this possible move for this replacement for Natasha Howard.
Breaking news just dropped, and Fever fans are not taking it well. The Indiana Fever have apparently found their replacement for Natasha Howard after her trade to Minnesota. And based on the social media reaction we're seeing right now, this might be one of the most controversial roster moves of the entire free agency period. The player in question, Myisha Hines-Allen from Minnesota. And if you look at her net points over the last 3 seasons, you'll understand why fans are losing their minds.
Hines-Allen. So this is her net points over the last 3 seasons. Offensively, 13, -19, and -6 overall, -23. It's just, I don't know. But this assumption here that she's coming is from a post that she put on her Facebook.
Let's talk about those numbers because they tell a brutal story. Offensively, Hines-Allen posted a +13 3 seasons ago. Then it dropped to -19. Last season, -6. Her overall net rating across 3 years is -23. For context, that means when she's on the court, her team performs worse than when she's sitting on the bench. This is the player potentially replacing a veteran like Natasha Howard, who brought championship experience and consistent production to Indiana. The gap in value is massive, and fans are calling this exactly what it looks like, bargain bin shopping, when they should be competing for premium talent.
I should say, she put this post out. Let's pull it up right now, and let me show y'all. So this is the post that she put on her Instagram. And as you guys can see, it's red and gold. We know who is red and gold. Now, the fan base is talking about this. They definitely is. People feel a type of way. Some people are happy. Some people are mad about it. I just want to know y'all thoughts down in the comments section.
Now, here's where it gets interesting. This isn't confirmed by the team yet. The entire assumption that Hines-Allen is coming to Indiana is based on an Instagram post she made about 20 minutes before this video dropped. She posted a photo with red and gold colors, which are the Fever's team colors. That's it. That's the entire source of this breaking news. And already the fan base is divided. Some people are cautiously optimistic, most are furious. But before we get into the fan reaction, we need to understand what this move actually represents for Indiana's championship aspirations.
Left a little around 2 or a little under 2 left in cap space. So it'll definitely be a bargain deal for them if this is true that they're getting her. But overall, man, I don't know. Fans still want Timmy Figman layback. Will we get Timmy back? I don't know. You know, I just feel like Timmy worked very well with Caitlin Clark. And somebody said, all right, Indiana Fever need one more signing.
The Fever are sitting on roughly $2 million in remaining cap space. Maybe a little under $2 million, depending on how you calculate it. That's not nothing, but it's also not enough to land a marquee free agent. Emma Mason, for example, just won MVP in the EuroLeague again. She's going to command serious money. The kind of money Indiana simply doesn't have anymore, and here's why that cap situation matters. Kelsey Mitchell took her Supermax contract. Most stars in her position negotiate down to give their team flexibility. Kelsey didn't. She took the full $400,000 raise, which means Indiana lost that money from their available cap space. So if you're wondering why the Fever can't make a big splash signing right now, thank Kelsey for taking every dollar she was entitled to.
Get Messuman. Everybody's talking about Emma Messuman. I don't know, man. I don't know if they got enough money to get Emma, bro. Emma gonna get a bag. She won MVP in EuroLeague again. She been balling. I don't know if they're going to be able to pull the Emma Messuman out the rabbit out the hat, bro. I just got to be honest. You know, I ain't going to come on here and lie to y'all and not keep it real. But it is looking very, very interesting for the Indiana Fever.
And this is where the Hines-Allen situation starts to make sense from a front office perspective, even if fans hate it. She's a bargain deal, probably somewhere in the $300,000 to $400,000 range. That allows Indiana to fill the roster spot without completely depleting their remaining cap space. They still need to sign players from tomorrow's draft, and first-round picks are now getting that new rookie contract minimum of around $200,000. So from a pure accounting standpoint, Hines-Allen fits the budget. But here's the problem with that logic. Championship teams don't build rosters based purely on budget constraints. They find ways to get the right players, even if it means making difficult decisions elsewhere.
But I don't know if Myisha Hines-Allen could be the answer at the 4 position. That's just me. You feel me? That's just me. And yeah, it is what it is. It is what it is, man. Mike say, what the F is going on with the Indiana Fever? There's a lot going on, man. Sophie Cunningham motion is insane. Over 40,000 likes in less than 12 hours. No cap. With all this.
Look at what fans are saying in the comments. One person wrote, bargain bin hunting for a 4 when they should have made that position top priority in a league where most of the best players play that position. Another said, laughing out soft, potential values over a whack in free agency. These aren't casual fans overreacting. These are people who watched every game last season and understand what this team needs to compete with New York, Las Vegas, and Minnesota. They watched Caitlin Clark drag this team to the playoffs with insufficient help at multiple positions. And now they're watching the front office make moves that feel more like cost-cutting than championship building.
That taste in my mouth. And I told y'all they be doing that. These players be doing that. They'll hint that they're coming. Hell, all we know is Myisha Hines-Allen could be clickbaiting that she's coming to Indy, and it all could be cap. You feel me? She could just be tweeting out and saying this just to be saying it. You feel me? So at the end of the day, we don't know. We don't know. Now, the Indiana Fever did drop.
But there's another name that keeps coming up in every single comment section, and we need to address it. Temi Fagbenle. Fever fans are begging the team to bring back Temi, and for good reason. She played 15 games with Indiana last season before heading overseas. And in those 15 games, she showed exactly the kind of chemistry with Caitlin Clark that this offense needs. She could finish around the rim, she understood spacing, and she didn't need the ball in her hands to be effective. The question is whether Temi wants to come back and whether Indiana can afford her, because right now, it's not clear she's even interested in returning to the WNBA at all.
24 hours until the draft. I will be live tomorrow during this draft. So make sure you guys keep your bells on. I want to see what the people saying down in the comments. Said so excited. Get us some good stuff, Amber. Get Gabriela Jaquez. I think that's who they gonna get. It's rumbling that they gonna get her. That's who everybody been talking about. Are the Fever out of money? Why haven't they signed their 3 final roster spots?
Here's what makes this entire situation more complicated. Players have been trolling fans all throughout free agency. Aaliyah Boston trolled Fever fans earlier today with a cryptic post that turned out to mean absolutely nothing. So there's a very real possibility that Myisha Hines-Allen is just clickbaiting everyone with that red and gold Instagram post. Maybe she's coming to Indiana. Maybe she's just messing around. Maybe she's negotiating with multiple teams and using social media to create leverage. We won't know for sure until the Fever make an official announcement, but the fact that fans are this upset about even the possibility of this signing tells you everything about where expectations are right now.
With the player from the draft, they right under about $2 million in cap space left, so they can probably get some bargain signings for like $400, maybe some $300,000 players, 3 to 4. Fill in some gaps, but I don't see them signing like a big name. I just don't think they got the cap. And to be honest, Everybody got to look at Kelsey Mitchell. So if they don't sign another big...
Indiana also announced their draft pick positions today. They'll be selecting 10th in the first round, 25th in the second round, and 40th in the third round. The draft happens tomorrow, and there's strong speculation that they're targeting Gabriela Jaquez with that 10th pick. She's a versatile forward who could potentially fill some of the gaps left by Natasha Howard's departure. But here's the reality. Rookie forwards, even good ones, rarely make immediate championship-level impact in the WNBA. The learning curve is steep, the physicality is different, and Indiana needs production right now, not development projects.
What goes down tomorrow? Now, tomorrow is the draft. Now, the first-round pick is going to get that new rookie contract minimum thing. I think it's 200 and something. 200-some thousand, somewhere up in there. But yeah, I don't know, man. But get down in the comment section. Let me know y'all thoughts about this one, man. Keep them bells on. I will be back with more content. Till next time, shake the hand.
So let's zoom out and look at the bigger picture here, because this isn't just about one potential signing. This is about what kind of team Indiana is trying to build around Caitlin Clark. Last season was supposed to be a rebuilding year. Nobody expected them to make the playoffs. But Caitlin changed those expectations immediately. She dragged that roster to the postseason through sheer force of will and historic production. And now the front office has a choice. Do they continue building slowly and methodically, or do they go all in while Caitlin is on a rookie contract? Because here's the thing about rookie contracts in the WNBA. Caitlin Clark is making roughly $76,000 this season. That's absurdly below her market value. In 3 years, when she signs her next contract, she's going to command supermax money, which will be somewhere around $250,000 to $300,000, assuming the salary cap increases as expected. That means Indiana has a 3-year window where they have the best player in the league at a massive discount. That's when you're supposed to go all in. That's when you're supposed to make aggressive moves and maximize your championship odds. Instead, we're seeing bargain bin shopping. We're seeing the team operate like they have all the time in the world. And that's what's frustrating fans, because they understand that this window won't last forever. Eventually, Caitlin's salary will eat up a huge chunk of the cap. Eventually, they'll have to make tough decisions about who to keep and who to let go. Right now, while she's making $76,000, is the time to be aggressive. Is the time to overpay for win-now talent. Is the time to mortgage future assets for present-day production. Look at what the Liberty did. They went all in. They traded future picks, they paid premium prices for premium talent, and they won a championship. That's the model. That's what contending looks like. You don't win championships by finding value contracts and hoping everything works out. You win by identifying your window and being ruthless about maximizing it. And here's what makes the Myisha Hines-Allen situation even more frustrating for fans. She's not a bad player. She's had productive seasons in the past, but she's also 27 years old and coming off her worst statistical season. This isn't a young player with untapped potential. This isn't a veteran at the peak of her powers. This is a player whose production has declined for 3 straight years, and Indiana is potentially bringing her in to replace someone who was significantly better last season. Now, maybe the front office sees something in Hines-Allen that the numbers don't show. Maybe they believe a change of scenery will revitalize her career. Maybe they think playing alongside Caitlin Clark will elevate her game in ways that playing in Minnesota couldn't. Those are all possibilities, but they're also gambles. And when you have a generational talent like Caitlin Clark on your roster, gambling on reclamation projects feels like a waste of her prime years. The comparison that keeps coming up is Emma Myisha. She's the player everyone wants Indiana to sign. She just dominated the EuroLeague again. She has WNBA championship experience. She can score inside and out. She's exactly the kind of versatile forward that would complement Caitlin perfectly. But she's also expensive, and Indiana doesn't have the cap space to make it happen unless they make additional moves. Which brings us back to the Kelsey Mitchell contract situation. If Kelsey had taken a slightly smaller deal, Indiana would have had the flexibility to pursue Emma. But she didn't. She took every dollar. And look, you can't blame her for that. Players should maximize their earnings in a league where the salary cap is still absurdly low compared to the revenue these teams generate. But there are consequences to that decision. And one of those consequences is that Indiana now has to shop in the bargain bin instead of competing for premium talent. So here's the question Fever fans need to ask themselves. Are you okay with this approach? Are you okay with the front office prioritizing financial flexibility and long-term sustainability over short-term championship contention? Because that's what this Hines-Allen signing represents, if it happens. It represents a team that's still thinking 3 years down the road instead of going all in right now. And maybe that's the right approach. Maybe the front office believes this roster isn't one piece away from a championship. Maybe they think they need another year or two of development before they can seriously compete with New York and Las Vegas. But if that's the case, they need to communicate that to the fan base. Because right now, fans watched Caitlin Clark drag this team to the playoffs and break every rookie record in WNBA history, and they believe the time to win is now. Tomorrow's draft will give us more clarity. We'll see who Indiana selects at 10th overall. We'll see if they use their second and third round picks to add depth, or if they trade them for future assets. And we'll see if this Myisha Hines-Allen situation was real or just social media noise. But one thing is clear, the Indiana Fever are at a crossroads. They can either embrace their championship window and go all in around Caitlin Clark, or they can continue building slowly and risk wasting the most cost-efficient years of a generational talent's career. So what do you think? Is Myisha Hines-Allen the right move for Indiana, or should they be targeting bigger names? Should Kelsey Mitchell have taken less money to give the team more flexibility? And most importantly, are the Fever wasting Caitlin Clark's rookie contract by not being aggressive enough in free agency? Let me know in the comments, and if you want coverage of tomorrow's draft, make sure you're subscribed because I'll be breaking down every pick live. Until then, keep your eyes on Indiana's front office, because the decisions they make in the next 24 hours will define their championship odds for the next 3 years.